Yo.
Okay.
That's so inappropriate for my age. I need to stop. All right. I'm so excited to have my friend Evan Field with me today.
Hello.
Because Evan is one of Abby's friends up here from her school days. So I want to talk to Evan about your experience as an adult on the spectrum. But I knew her in middle school. But you were a couple of years older than Abby, I think, right?
Actually, high school, actually.
Was it high school?
It was high school. I started at Village Glen in high school.
Oh, I see. So before we get into that, which I think is very interesting, is like how somebody, gets their education, when they get their diagnosis and all that stuff. Let's start at the beginning. So you tell me, when were you diagnosed as someone on the spectrum, or what were you diagnosed with? Because back in those days, we had Aspergers and other
that's
things.
what it was called then, yes.
I see. Okay, so you were diagnosed with Aspergers.
Yeah, before my third birthday.
Before you're 3 years old?
Before my third birthday, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, and they diagnosed you with Aspergers.
Yeah.
Interesting. We can't say that today. The diagnostic code, the DSM-5 changed in 2013, and they removed Asperger's as a specific population and just put everyone on the same playing field, which I think is good and bad, right? I mean, I think what the hardest part for me is how do we know where this person's coming from and what their struggles are if they're so vastly different? So what interventions did you have then?
I had OT, speech. In my younger years, I had ABA, I think until I was 8 maybe. And then I had PT, I had OT, speech therapy in school.
They provided it in the school setting?
In my elementary school, yes.
Okay.
And outside as well.
Did you get any of that before you started school?
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
Through the regional center, most likely?
Yeah, I went to a really good place.
But you went to a regular school, general education?
For kindergarten through 8th grade. It wasn't a K through 8 school, but I went to like 3 different schools.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you were in a typical school with support services as someone diagnosed.
Uh-huh.
One of the reasons I understood they changed the diagnosis from Asperger's to just spectrum is so that people could get services. Some people diagnosed with Asperger's were denied services. It wasn't recognized as necessary.
Yeah.
The same as sensory processing disorder or sensory integration dysfunction, which I grew up with a brother who had that. He was not on the spectrum, and there was very little services because it's not really recognized on its own. Therefore, there's no treatments or supports. However, if it's part of autism, now you can get supports. So in my book, change the insurance reform might be nice here, not the words to describe what's going on, so that way we can help people.
Yeah, and my first school I went to for kindergarten through 3rd grade, my social skills weren't really the best in kindergarten. So like I had a companion in school.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah,
so that's interesting.
and so helper, aide, companion, same boat.
Yeah, same boat. I mean, that's the thing. If you're someone on the spectrum and you go mainstreamed to the least restrictive environment, which is actually great for social modeling, you need somebody to kind of look out for you.
Oh, yeah.
Abbey had an aide as well. Abbey was mainstreamed until the end of 2nd grade. She had an aide with her for not just comprehension and social skills, but for safety, for understanding where she was supposed to go and following schedules and things like that.
I mean, I had many aides in kindergarten, and like I had so many people working with me that my mom was just like, we just need one person working with her. That it was just too much for me. And we ended up having, this one girl, and actually I was the flower girl in her wedding, and she's going to be the matron of honor at my wedding.
Oh, are you kidding?
Life comes full circle.
Oh, I love that so much.
Yes.
That's so awesome. Abbey is friends with many of her therapists. Abbey was at Disneyland yesterday with her friend Jen, who was her very first therapist. And Abbey is now older than she was at the time she started working with Abbey.
Wow.
Yeah, she comes for holidays and everything else, so it's been a beautiful full circle kind of moment.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that story. But I think you're right. I think one aid to help the individual is important because they understand better what you need work on, what you need help with, how you learn, all that sort of stuff. If you're changing aids a lot, you lose growth. And a lot of times people don't understand that. It's like starting over again.
Right.
This is an aid in the school setting. It's just like with a therapist. If you have to start telling your story all over again, of course it's going to be...
And then when I switched schools for 4th grade, she still remained in my life, pretty much. But we just decided to have like a different agency for the second school. So I had an aide on Monday through Wednesdays, and I had an aide on Thursday and Friday. So I had 2 aides pretty much for like the 5 days of the week that I was in school.
I see.
And so I think I remember being in special ed. I was in a special ed class, like just exclusively special ed, and then...
So that was a pullout. They pulled you out of the thing and they put you in an art class within the regular campus.
Well, I was just in the autism class specifically.
I see.
And like, you know, they just thought I was doing so well, so they ended up, you know, I would be in the mainstream class for like some part of the day or whatever. And then eventually we ended up weeding out the special ed class and just being in the mainstream class full time.
Did you have support when you were in the mainstream class?
Yes, I did.
You had an aide?
Yes, I did. So 5th grade, we decided to ditch the aide completely.
Oh, you did.
And you know, I think it was a good choice to help me gain my independence, but at the same time I was also bullied as well. Oh. So I don't really, I mean, I'm a little still kind of conflicted as to like why my parents did that. I mean, I understand they wanted my growth and everything, but
wanted
like
your independence.
But at the same time I was also just like, you know, I was bullied.
So that's to me one of the hardest things, because I look at people that are initially diagnosed with Aspergers or PDD or have just any kind of social difference, and how do you manage them learning to be independent but protect them from being bullied? If I could ask you, the bullying makes you feel bad about yourself.
Oh yeah, easily. And then when I graduated from that school in 5th grade, I went to another school. My mom was trying, I think, go to like she was trying to go the private school route. And I was there for 3 months. The problem was that it was a K through 8 school. So like the thing is everybody had each other, because I think they knew each other, because like I came in 6th grade and like they knew each other from then. So it was like, it wasn't like they were cliquey or exclusive. They weren't mean. They were just, you know, they had each other. And I had like pretty much nobody. I literally lasted 3 months there because teachers didn't understand me and they didn't understand my needs. The only like positive of that whole school was that our class was able to, you know, have what we called buddy time or whatever with like the kindergarten and 1st grade class. So I was able to help out or whatever. So, and pretty much like, I mean, for the first 2 years of middle school, I often sat alone by myself. I didn't have like a good group of friends because everybody, again, bullied me. I had one girl that constantly harassed me in 7th grade. And 8th grade, it got better because I managed to, I'm usually not a person like to like go out and find friends or whatever, because I had kind of not the best experiences doing that in middle school.
Yeah.
So there was a girl in my homeroom who like, you know, we kind of seemed to have similar interests, and I'm like, we talked and we had a conversation and just, you know, it just kind of went from there.
Yeah.
And then eventually my 2 other friends, you know, and the cool part is that they just wanted me to be myself, which was great. You know, I mean, I don't even think they knew I was autistic, but like, I mean, they could have known, they could have internally known, but like they just saw me as I was and just didn't really like judge me or anything, which was great.
So that was in 8th grade then. So you had some friends, so it got better.
It got much better. I had a whole group of friends to like run around with in 8th grade.
That's fantastic. So you sort of overcame the feeling of being bullied.
I just remember in 8th grade, just like everybody, just like we all were just crying and hugging each other because we were all going to different schools.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And I remember one of my friends wrote in my yearbook, "See you in 4 years," implying that, you know, we'd meet in college. We did.
Oh, really? Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.